Hey, everybody, it's Eri from Tokyo. This is your cryptocurrency update from Japan and the market in the last 24 hours. Well, the volume is down. The big drop, 21% down. Very little buying and very little selling. DeFi, however, still 10% of the total crypto market volume. And there are a few tokens, moving up despite the sideways action. We've got Stacks, STX, up 14%. They are a smart contracts and decentralized application platform that run on Bitcoin. Their mainnet went live just this January. It was a project that I have a developer friend in, and it was slow to get off the ground. It was very slow to get off the ground. So I'm kind of surprised it's coming to life. Then we have Flow, up 14%. They're 77% up on the 7-day. That is the same team that brought us Crypto Kitties. Do you remember that? And also they brought the NBA Hot Shots. That was a huge success. And Luna up again, 8%, 41% on the 7-day. I had the CEO on the channel about a year and a half ago. So happy to see he's doing so well. There's a lot of my favorites eking out small gains like Algo, Tezos, ADA, XLM, Hedera, Hashgraph. We've got Zill, XRP, VeChain, Ethereum. They're all trying to move in the right direction. But what I want to point out here is the balances of Bitcoin on exchanges are in the decline, meaning 40,000 Bitcoin, 28% of the 140,000 that came onto the exchanges in May at the height of when that profit was being taken, is starting to come off. This is telling us that people are thinking that the time to sell has passed. So we're currently at 2.56 million Bitcoin on the exchanges, and compare that to the lowest in all of 2021 of 2.46 million. It's getting very low. These inflows and these outflows are very telling. This is a real insight as to what the traders are thinking, and there is just a lot of going back to cold storage. This is also why, if you like the Wyckoff distribution, this is one of the main key points of focus for Wyckoff, is to look at these inflows and outflows. All right, Ripple filed a letter, and that is informing Judge Netburn that the Hinman deposition has been renoticed for July 19th. That's a Monday, by the way. The reason for this is that they'd like to have the judge make a decision before this date regarding the SEC's motion to quash. And Ripple is pushing for that day, which is very good. Even though on the 8th of July, the SEC said that Hinman doesn't have any unique knowledge or any discoverable facts. Well, we will soon see, right? I want you to listen to this attorney here. She is in Palm Beach, Florida. This is attorney Laura Anthony, and she specializes in securities. She was on a panel with one of the assistant directors from the SEC enforcement just 2 days before Hinman gave his speech. I want you to listen to what she has to say. It's very interesting.
I attended a Regulation A conference in New York in the beginning of June, and one of the panels was related to cryptocurrencies. In addition to attorneys in the space, the panel included Anita Bandy, Assistant Director of the SEC's Division of Enforcement. Referring to token or coin offerings, one of the panel members specifically stated that Ether is a security, and Ms. Bandy did not correct him. Furthermore, at the end of the panel, I privately asked Ms. Bandy if it is her opinion that Ether is a security today. She politely refused to answer the question, letting me know that she couldn't express an opinion on that subject without conferring with other SEC management. 2 days later, Mr. Hinman gave his speech in which he said that Ether is not a security. But Mr. Hinman is Director of Corporation Finance, and Ms. Bandy is part of the Division of Enforcement. Although the SEC divisions are communicating with each other on the very relevant and important subject of cryptocurrency and have even issued joint statements on the subject, they are separate. Moreover, decoding Mr. Hinman's statement further, he said, putting aside the fundraising that accompanied the creation of Ether. This begs the question, what would happen if the SEC Division of Enforcement took action related to the initial fundraising and creation of Ether, and how would that impact the current status of Ether?
Good question. Very good question. And now I'm going to just take you over to the Bitcoin bull Novogratz when he's talking to the CNBC in regards to regulations. And I have a comment to make on his comment.
Is one thing, but you saw the comments from Senator Elizabeth Warren. It's not the first time that she said it, but she wants more scrutiny to protect investors. That's going to continue till Gensler and company address it to some extent. Maybe that'd be good if they finally.
I think when Gary finally addresses it, it will be good. Listen, he would love to regulate all the crypto. He doesn't have the mandate, right? He needs Congress to give him the mandate, and it's a pretty tight Congress. We'll see what they end up doing. But I think even if he had the mandate, once you had the rules, I think that would be a relief for the market. Listen, the one thing we learned, and we're going to spend a lot more time ourselves down in D.C., our politicians, as smart as they are, know very, very little about crypto. And, shame on our industry. We need to do a better job educating them.
Shame on our industry. We need to do a better job educating them. Well, I can tell you that so many of the Bitcoin maxis were pointing their finger at Ripple because they had spent so much money on lobbying in DC. And now look, finally, these guys are going to come down to DC and do a little bit of work themselves. I just think that the finger pointing that goes on is horrible when it comes to pointing fingers at Ripple for trying to help this industry, and all those BTC maxis were sitting on the sidelines, not spending a dime. Just irritates me. There's just a lot of things that irritate me in this space, and this is one of those. And in addition to that, too, the fact that Gensler wants to regulate crypto, yeah, he wants it all. This is a total power grab, and you can be sure that he's working behind the scenes with Senator Warren to just give him that red carpet so that he can just roll through and do what he wants to do, which is, I'm just sure, is not what the retail investors want. Okay, there's a central bank digital currency for cross-border payments report for the G20 that came out just last almost 24 hours ago, maybe 36 hours ago. Yesterday, I did get a piece of the video that complements that report, and the interoperability is the focus. I'm really glad to see that this video was making the rounds. I did see that Bearable Bull had it on, and that's good because we are just still in a stage where they're trying to figure it out. And one of the models looks good. There's 3 different models that are proposed. One of the models does look like it would be good for the company Ripple. And Ripple is very, very focused on interoperability. So this is good. This is an article that was written by James Wallace back in September 2020, and you can see interoperability will determine CBDC winners and losers. So they have been on the mark and on target with that focus from the very beginning. We've got this other more recent article that was written by James Wallace too, and it's partnership, interoperability, and the neutral bridge currencies, which is XRP in this article, is the CBDC success. And so, yeah, the digital asset XRP can be used to help bridge all of those central bank digital currencies that are going to be pegged to different fiats around the world. And here is that model that would be very, very good. There's a multitude of privately offered correspondent and clearing services that could sit in the middle of those banks. And so this is, yeah, I don't know which way they're going to go, and I don't think they have figured out which way they're going to go. And Gilbert Verdan, he is tweeting on this report as well. All CBDCs should be interoperable domestically, which gives commercial banks choice and allows for cross-border transactions. And the Quant multi-ledger token system, which he's abbreviating here, MLTS, it removes single distributed ledger technology limitations with interoperable CBDCs that run on multiple distributed ledgers and that technology at the same time. So this is also why I am really, I'm a big follower and holder of Quant, because I think they have a very good solution. Now, I'm going to want to make another comment on a comment here that came out from Christine Lagarde. I don't believe her for 1 second. Have a listen.
We think, we central banks, and I'm not the only one here, there are, at least 80 central banks around the world that are looking at digital currencies. We think that it's a duty of us to actually have available digital currencies that would operate to the benefit of consumers. So what would it look like? Well, it could be used like banknotes. I don't think it is like banknotes because it will not have the degree of anonymity that banknotes have. And I find it very interesting, by the way, that in the consultation that we conducted, that consumers who responded in very large numbers said, we want our privacy to be protected, but we don't want anonymity, because they understand the risk of anonymity when it comes to digital currency.
I don't believe it. I want to see the consultation. I want to see the numbers. I want to see the people who responded. I want to see their names, because when the consumers really understand what a digital currency is in terms of the control and the lack of privacy that people will have when using these, there is no way that they won't ask for their cash back because that is the truth. I just don't believe it. I just don't believe it. You'll have to show me that consultation list. You'll have to show me what the big numbers were. Who were the people? Where did they live? What did they say? What did they know? What did they understand when they responded that way? No. Nope. Don't believe it for 1 second. All right. Regulations. Yeah, I'm seeing, of course, some people who are having trouble with getting their money moved off of Binance. This is, it's not just Binance. I have to tell you that really in this industry with all the exchanges, and I don't even need to name them individually because we all have firsthand either experiences or we know of experiences with exchanges that are doing a very poor job with customer service. And I'm not trying to give a green card or a pass to Binance, but I do think all of the exchanges, when they are under a huge amount of pressure to deliver in terms of overabundance of support, they're just unable to handle it. So CZ does have an AMA that's going to be on July 14th from 1 to 4 p.m. He probably will be very transparent, as he always has been. I'll never forget the time that he was hacked and he came on live and gave that stream. That was probably one of the most difficult things he ever did. I do believe that CZ is going to figure it out. He's going to do what it takes to get compliant. He has 40% of the market share right now. He's not going to allow that to get in his way of growth. He has been avoiding some of the regulation for as long as I think he could do it. I think you're going to see that he probably will do what it takes to get it done. But we need, as an industry, to improve greatly on the support that is given to users in this space. It's pretty bad. All right, I'm taking you to the fluff. This is Mie Prefecture. Look at this. This is just a few of the 1,300 terraced rice paddies that are in this area of Japan. It is south of Tokyo. It's a little it's a little east of Kyoto, and it is facing the Pacific Ocean. It is famous, though, not only for these beautiful terraced rice paddies, but also for pearls. As a matter of fact, today is the day that the cultured pearl was born in Japan. That was started by Kokichi Mikimoto in 1893. That's when he started to produce these, and they are just absolutely beautiful. Here's a photograph of Mr. Mikimoto with his ama divers, and I want to tell you about the ama of Japan, because there were probably a few thousand, maybe 3,000 or 4,000 at that time in 1920, but we are down to just really a handful now. It's a very interesting, intangible culture that has been recognized by by UNESCO, and where Mikimoto really made his mark in terms of establishing his brand was at the 1937 Paris exposition, the expo. And this was the brooch that he brought to that to show off the workmanship, the craft, and the beauty of which was being created with the pearls that he was cultivating. Look at that. I mean, my gosh, it's the most beautiful Art Deco piece of jewelry I've seen in a long time. And so these are the ama today. And ama is the word used to identify the women who free dive into the sea and catch, well, shellfish for one, but also seaweed. And they have been doing so for 3,000 years, at least, in this country. So they'll go down and they'll get uni, which is the sea urchin, abalone, oysters, sea cucumbers, lobsters, scallops, all sorts of yummy things. They have a lot of superstitions too. These women will only get in and out of the left side of a boat. And when Japanese are going to kind of take off or go somewhere, they say itadakimasu, and the itadakimasu is a way to just say, like, I'm leaving now. And what they say is ite kokai, which means I'm going and coming. So it's one of those phrases that gives them the good luck, because their job is quite dangerous. And these women who, have learned from their mothers and their grandmothers, they will dive as deep as 30 meters, so like 100 feet down. And they will go down for 2 minutes at a time, and they have up to 60 dives in any diving session. And today, the divers are well into their 60s, 70s, 80s, and even 90s. What's kind of interesting is the reason why women are successful as divers more than men is because of the fat. We have fat that's distributed differently than men. And because of this distribution, women are able to stay warmer longer in cold water. And the depths that they dive without any sort of, in the old days, they dove completely naked and no, glass, no mask. So they have now since changed a little bit. These gals are in their traditional wear. I don't think they're real. I think they posed for this picture. The women today who are diving, they're using wetsuits now. So they don't use air, but they do use a wetsuit and they do use the mask. And I think that should you ever be interested in taking a look at some of the most amazing photographs, this is an Italian photographer. His name is Fosco Marini. Yeah, and he published a book in 1954 that is so difficult to find. And the photographs that he took are just precious. There are no copies that I can find right now. And the pictures are just amazing. So if you find one, please let me know. I am on the hunt for that particular book. And there's another book too by the German photographer Nina Poppe. She did a book back in 2010. She only printed 800 copies. I can find her book. It's very, very expensive, but she spent 2 weeks with the Ama and did a beautiful photograph record of their life and as a community. And it's really, those two books are really, really special. But I'm telling you, if you can find one from Fosco, please let me know, because I would just love to add that to my collection. All right, everybody, do take care. Sayonara for now. Bye-bye.